Okay, for our tactics or actions for this school example, we're going to start with the most obvious one. We want people to sign an online petition. Now, the people involved in this are going to be our core supporters, people that actually care enough to sign a petition. We're also going to note who's going to drive this, which might be our core team that are really actively involved, also our main supporter base. Another action might be to get people to join in for a town hall event, a bit more complicated than just a petition. And this time, on top of our core supporters, we'd also be inviting the local MP and community, because it's one of those big all-in events. And this might be a good chance to pull in some of our allies to support it. So the local council will drive it, but we might have the church and the cricket club mobilise their members to get involved. And last of all, doesn't hurt to get some social media out. This is kind of like a catch-all action, which is done by almost everybody, but driven by our core supporters and volunteers. Now that we've figured out what our tactics are and who is responsible for making them happen, let's figure out if there's important timing to get this stuff done. Let's say that we've got a local election in November. We'd want to do our petition in the month leading up to that election so that we can make some noise about it. Another event might be like the local Christmas fete, which say happens every December. At which point we can get local parents and students to put together a stall. We could have the kids hand out leaflets with our social media addresses on it, and we could help our parents to have conversation with other parents about the importance of the issue. And we could teach parents in our core supporters on how to have a really good conversation with other parents in the area. Because it's a Christmas thing, maybe we can get the local church involved too. Now, let's say that there's a release of new education policy, which comes out every 3 years or whatever it is. That might be a really good time to have our town hall event. If we give everybody, 2 weeks or a month or something to digest the information, we can then prep candidates on having a really productive conversation about what we want done. See how I've been really clear about what we want to do, who's responsible for it, and when it's going to happen. There might be lots of opportunities in here, and so you can just write a ton of them down and see what works. And finally, we get to flesh out the last chunk of our strategy. So our tactics or actions are to sign online petitions, attend a town hall event, and get some likes on social media. This finally fills out the overall campaign strategy, or the theory of change that we believe is going to work. So let's go through it one by one. If we get local parents and students in Fitzroy to sign petitions and attend town hall events, we might be able to get the federal minister to build a new school in Fitzroy, which will improve education outcomes and opportunities in our state. And now we can finally fill out that sentence in sentence form. If we mobilise local parents and students in Fitzroy to sign online petitions, attend town hall events, and share our social media posts, we could influence Mr. Baggins, the Federal Minister of Education, to build a school in Fitzroy in order to improve education opportunities for our kids in Victoria. See how we've bubbled up the complexity of the information in the rest of the template to a really simple strategy that you can kind of explain to anyone. And then we've checked if that makes sense by putting it into one kind of long but sensible sentence. Which means that all is left is to figure out how we're going to explain this message to other people and how we're going to launch the campaign.